Well, that was a bloody good Turkish Grand Prix. Hello, my name is Alex Does F1 Stuff and welcome to a speed review for round number 14 for the Turkish Grand Prix around the Istanbul circuit. And my god, was it an incredible race, a extremely long one, almost 2 hours but not quite, and one that was just filled with emotion, record breaking, and just general good racing. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with my speed review series, I basically try and run down the entirety of the weekend, all the practice sessions, all of qualifying and the race in a quick a time as possible, hopefully in one cut and hopefully in under 5 minutes, but both of those aren't a given. So let us begin the review with practice 1, dominated by the two Red Bulls on the world's slippiest track. It was dry-ish, but still extremely slippery. Leclerc manages to bang his Ferrari in P3, the AlphaTauris had an insane run in P4 and P6, Norris P7, then Giovinazzi followed by Bottas only P9, and then it is Ocon P10, with Russell all the way down at the bottom rounding off the field, with Mercedes rubbing out their P1 and P2 and putting P9 and P15. And then for practice 2, it was a very similar story. A little bit dry, but Mercedes still not on the pace. Definitely not comfortable this weekend, and Verstappen was 4 tenths faster than Leclerc. Albon P5, the AlphaTauri still going extremely well, then Vettel P8, Stroll P9 and Norris P10. And then the practice session before qualifying, it is 3 for 3 for Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc though, P2, a second back. Albon P3, Ocon P4, Norris P5, Vettel 6th, then it's Perez, Bottas, Magnussen and Stroll. The Mercedes are just not happy in the slightest, and Max Verstappen is in the driving seat for this Grand Prix weekend. As we head to qualifying, he dominates Q1, 2 seconds faster than Albon in the pouring rain. 2-minute lap times around Turkey. Raikkonen bangs at P3 for Alfa Romeo. For Ferraris are P4 and P5, Gasly 6th, then the two Renaults, with a Q1 scare for Lewis Hamilton in P14, with Perez just on the bubble in P15. Unfortunately, the two Hasses are out, as are the two Williams and Danny Kvyat. As we head to Q2, both Alfa Romeos have made it through. Once again though, it is both Red Bulls at the top, 2 seconds clear for Max Verstappen yet again, Lewis Hamilton P3 and Stroll P4. But the big story is Alfa Romeo are through into Q3. As we head on into that session, it is Lance Stroll though, who bags pole position by 3 tenths from Max Verstappen and 1.5 seconds from Sergio Perez, the first Canadian on pole since Jacques Villeneuve in 1997. Ricciardo is ahead of Hamilton, who is ahead of Ocon, who is ahead of Raikkonen, Bottas and Giovinazzi. And with the scintillating grid all set up, we head on into the race, which was dominated by Lewis Hamilton, 31 seconds clear from Sergio Perez, claiming his 7th driver's title. But P2 is Perez and P3 is Vettel. After a late lunge attempt from Charles Leclerc to claim P2 from Perez goes horribly wrong, Sainz is P5 and Verstappen is only P6. After an incredibly eventful Grand Prix, Norris is P8 and Stroll, the pole sitter, Stroll on pole, ends up P9, 72 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton, and Ricciardo claims 10th place. Ocon is just behind, with the two AlphaTauris having no race pace whatsoever, down in P12 and P13, and Bottas, the only man that could stop Lewis Hamilton, is lapped down in P14, spinning 4 or 5 times. Absolutely crazy stuff from him. Raikkonen only P15 in Alfa Romeo, and George Russell the last of the race finishers. The two Hasses both failed to finish, as did Latifi and Giovinazzi. As we head to the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships for Turkey, Hamilton 110 points clear and claims his 7th title. Verstappen is closing in on Bottas after he failed to score any points. Perez moves up to 4th in the Drivers' title ahead of Leclerc and Ricciardo, who slips to 6th. Sainz finally moves ahead of Norris, with Albon P9 and Gasly 10th. In the constructors though, Racing Point now claim third, ahead of McLaren and Renault, with Ferrari pulling away of AlphaTauri in sixth. And just some visualizations of all of this data for those that are interested. Here is the Drivers' Championship, and then here is the Constructors. And there we go, stop the clocks. That is the end of the speed review for Turkey. I do have a longer race weekend review coming out sometime tomorrow, in which we sit down and have a proper chit chat about each driver's performances in practice, in qualifying and the race. So do please join me tomorrow for that video. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video with whatever and whenever I decide to make it. I'll see you guys then.